Sup witches, Celeste the Silver Cord here, and I'm just bringing some astrology on the new moon we have coming up on February 23rd. I always say new moons are a great time to really set new intentions, or maybe do a small ceremony or ritual around setting new intentions. We just came out of a lot of heavy energy in the sun moving from Aquarius to Pisces now. Plus we have that beautiful Mercury retrograde going on, so that's retrograding in Pisces right now. So there's a lot of communication things going on. I'm just going to do a quick rundown. So in Pisces you have the moon, the sun, Mercury in retrograde, and Neptune. And in Capricorn we still have Mars, Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn. Over here in Aries we have Venus, and Uranus is in Taurus. So we have a lot of number synchronicities going on right now because the sun and the moon are both at 4 degrees, and Venus is at 4 degrees of Aries. So the moon being at 4 degrees is really always about, you know, balancing your shadow aspects and your other aspects, you know, your light and your dark, and the cycles that you go through with doing these battles, because it is a never-ending battle. But the thing is to be able to recognize when you're in a cycle and go with the ebb and flow of it easier than trying to fight it constantly. If you're always just fighting your shadow aspects, then you're just repressing them, and that doesn't help anything. So you're supposed to be feeling when these aspects start to rise in you, a way of honoring it. Honor it in a sense of, I recognize this within myself. This is why I feel this way. And really allow yourself some time to process these emotions. If you haven't been meditating and grounding, I suggest everybody do that. So 444 is the number 4, obviously. And it really is about balance. 4 is the number of guardian angels. It's about taking time to recuperate, harmonize, contemplate, and stabilize. So that's what 4 is bringing to the table. So with Venus being in Aries, though Aries is an aggressive sign, this isn't so much about the battle itself, but rather finding ways of having a better battle strategy. I mean, the objective is peace. Even when there's a war, the objective is always peace. So battle strategies on ways to avoid some of these battles and how to pick and choose them a little bit easier. You should really have some focus on that. With it being with the moon and the sun, that is all about cycles, and that's about self-awareness. The sun being at 4 degrees is about balancing self and self-awareness and what it is that you're doing that helps repeat these cycles. If you don't like a cycle that you have with somebody, every time they do something that you just keep railing at them at, that doesn't break the cycle. You have to find a way of changing something within your behavior, and that will domino effect out around you. So when you do this, you want to choose some sort of positive way. Not, I'm going to start popping people in the mouth whenever they say something I don't like, but some other way of peaceably handling these minor battles so that they don't turn into major wars and breaking those cycles. The other big lineup that we have is 9s. Alright, so we've got Mercury in Pisces retrograde at 9 degrees. And 9 is an intellectual number, and it's about intellectual and idealism. But it also comes with the balancing of what brings you anxiety and what brings you satisfaction, and where persistence is needed and where gratitude of let it flow is needed. So Mercury in retrograde in Pisces at 9 with this is bringing out a lot of secret hard truths for people. Things are coming to light and you're having to process them, and dependent on how you react to these hard truths will really set the energy around you. Now, backing you up for this, we have a lot of planets that are still direct. In Capricorn, we have Jupiter and Saturn. So that is about expanding your mind with Jupiter, and with Saturn it's about taking control. So it's about expanding your mind to the point where you can see the value in all your hardships and able to turn your perspective on those. So persistence and gratitude works together. The reason I am so persistent is because I am grateful for these things that have happened to me, that have built up this strength in me to make me this persistent to achieve my goals and my higher self. And Aries has Venus, and it is at 18 degrees, but that also brings in the number 9. So that is, are you fighting it or are you fighting for it? Because there's a difference. You shouldn't have to fight love. That shouldn't be the battle. And fighting for love is if you're supporting the other person. If you have to fight to get love from them, that's not fighting for love. Do you get what I'm saying there? You shouldn't be battling the person you're trying to get love from. Now, if you're a team, you guys could be battling certain obstacles together. Now, that's how you fight for love. Realize that it's not you against your partner, it's you and your partner up against the world. And that's the battle strategy that you should have coming with that Venus and Aries. And now the final one is Taurus at in Taurus, which is Uranus at 3 degrees in Taurus. And 3 is bringing a lot of teammates and teamwork around you, and who has steadfast been with you through all of that. And Uranus brings a lot of enlightenment to that dynamic. So this is really seeing those around you from a higher perspective to how your team works together and how to make your team work best for everybody. You know, really highlighting people's positive aspects and maybe steering them more towards a different direction. Like, well, maybe if this is making you so miserable, we can do it this way. So we're highlighting what you're good at instead of forcing you to do something that you don't like over and over again. That's the best way I can think to explain that. You know, if it's family members, maybe it's time to change up the chores or something along those lines, or change up the routine in the house so that the team works more smoothly and everybody's able to work together a little bit better. Alright, so those were the big messages that I wanted to bring in for this new moon. And I figured I'll do a quick reading for everybody. Let's see, where's my clarifiers? Alright. So let's just get some tarot on maybe some guidance or something that we need to know with this new moon that can help us. What areas should we be setting our seeds of intention? I always say the Nine of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, and the Nine of Wands, they all go together. Just with all the 9 lineups that we have going on with this new moon. So that's really a balance because, I mean, the Nine of Swords is depression and anxiety. The Nine of Wands is resilience and persistence. You know, Cups is all about satisfaction, and Pentacles is all about gratitude and luxury. You know, but they all balance each other. I mean, that's the duality of it. So even when you get your wishes fulfilled, they usually come at a price of something somewhere else. Or you get everything that you asked for, and now it's a lot more pressure than you thought it was going to be. That's the balance between the gratitude of luxury and the wands, that pressure that you get when you have to go put in that 10th wand. The 10 of Wands comes with a lot of pressure. But you have to be able to accept that pressure if you want to get to the 10 of Cups. To get to that alignment. Alright. Because we're only going to get 2 jumpers. 2 more shuffles. So overall, everybody right now is really in the midst of making a lot of decisions, but there's a lot of victory with these decisions. There's going to be very good news coming in for a lot of people. That's just the energy shifts that we're getting ready to go into, and it's all about making smart choices that bring rewards and success, and get you aligned in that frequency of rewards and success. That's what the 6 of Spring. But the duality, like I said, with the way the 9 works, it's seeking out intellectual solutions to your problems. A need to act quickly and decisively, sudden and unexpected changes. So this is a lot of news coming in that could bring you a lot of unexpected changes. But that can be very scary, and that can lead to a lot of anxiety. And if you're stagnant and you refuse to move, like when all this energy starts rolling forward, remember, it's just Mercury in retrograde, and retrograde doesn't mean it's actually going backwards. It's going forwards. It just seems like it's doing that because it's passing us. You know, when that wave washes over, that, you know, that pressure is a time that you can take, you know, as like resistance training for what it is you're trying to accomplish. Do you really want it that bad? If you really want it that bad, then you're going to have to, you know, be persistent in getting through, but you also have to stay focused and be determined in what your long-term goals are, because you're going to feel very impulsive, and that can lead you into a lot of trouble if you're not taking the time to really look at it from an intellectual perspective, which is, like the 9's number one thing is intellectual and idealism. It's putting logic to these things before you make any big moves, you know. If you're going to take a leap of faith, make it a realistic leap of faith. Now, the underlying energies here is the Prince of Summer, romantic and charming and captivating and dramatic and flirtatious. And it's falling in love suddenly, being swept off your feet, a need to stay grounded during a very emotional experience. And then the 7 of Winter right after it. There is a better choice, not seeing things clearly and running away from the truth. So this is, for what I'm seeing, is this is someone coming in, presenting themselves in one light, and you need to be very careful that you see these people for genuinely who they are. What is the saying? Don't fall in love with someone's potential. So be sure that you accept the darker features of these people. If you're going to accept the light side, you have to look at the negative aspects too, because you will have to face them sooner or later. And just be mindful. So still Mercury retrograde, don't leap into some major decisions. Let the news come in. Be focused on what it is you're genuinely trying to accomplish in your life, because this romantic thing can really shake you up and it could knock you off focus of where you're genuinely trying to go. Don't change the whole course of your life over a person or for a person. Don't make that sacrifice. Make sure you're able to still do you. You got the King of Autumn here too, and this is compassionate, accomplishment, charismatic, and gifted. Be assertive when it comes to what you know is right. It's just what I was just saying. Everything is going your way, a good person or good company to work for. So you're aligning yourself with new people, and it is important that you maintain a balance with those relationships that are really helping you to grow and expand and really, you know, sit upon your throne of passion a little bit sturdier and a little bit more comfortable. You know, it starts out with just an uncomfortable chair, and then it gets covered with furs and luxury things and stuff like that. So if that's where your focus is to get yourself to where you want to be, do what you know it's right when you have these immature offers coming in. And just be sure you're aware of people blowing roses up your ass, or people who, like, they talk a really big game, but then when you look at them, they're not really doing anything with their lives. And it's like, you talk about doing all this stuff, but I never see you actually putting any action towards doing that. I want to keep making actions towards the direction that I'm going in. Be assertive. I'm not stepping off this path for you. Okay? And then at the end here, it says the Hermit. Find or be a mentor. Take a break from society. A commitment to your spiritual growth. So that's all on the same lines that I've really been getting at, is be assertive of the path that you're on. Stay focused on the path that you're on. Don't let impulsive things come in and knock you off. Always joke around with my friends and I say, don't skip the side quests, because, and those are like the little things that distract you in life, the little impulsive projects and stuff like that, that usually lead you on a side quest that you end up getting a big message from. But in cases like this, don't do that for a person. Like, it's one thing to, you don't have to completely cut them out of your life, but be assertive that you're still going to stay in the same direction that you're going in. Don't change that for just one person coming in, especially someone who comes in unexpectedly and out of nowhere. Because these communications are coming in, they're going to come in unexpected, and it's going to come in out of nowhere. And you're going to have options. Don't ever think that you do not have options. That is a big pit hole that a lot of people fall into. Oh, I gotta stay with this person because I have no other options. There are 6 billion people on the planet. Don't ever say that you don't have other options. Don't just settle for the first person who'll show you attention just because they show you attention. Don't just focus on the attention that you're getting. Genuinely focus on the attention that you are giving. Are you genuinely loving on this person, or are you just absorbing all the love that they're giving and overlooking all the bad things about the situation? It really is. 3 of Pentacles. Focus on those around you that are your teammates, and those that have been working with you, and those who do not bring you all this anxiety and stress. If someone is bringing you nothing, because this is 9 of Swords, 10 of Swords, 5 of Swords, and this is what I was saying with all the importance of what's going on in Aries right now, with Venus being in Aries, and Chiron is in Aries too, and so is Black Moon Lilith. So it's a lot of dark aspects going on when it comes to love. So genuinely focus on those people who work well with you as a team, and really put a lot of energy into and focus on non-romantic relationships, and make sure that you don't put any of those relationships on the sidelines for something that brings you nothing but anxiety and conflict in the end. Alright, well, there's your new moon forecast for February 23rd, 2020. If you like that, please like, share, subscribe, spank the bell to get more notifications, and I will talk to y'all later. Blessed be all those who walk these paths with me.